Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Laura, and today we're going to be filming a Shop My Stash video. Basically, we're going to be going through my makeup collection and picking out products that I either have not used yet or haven't used in a while, or basically just feel like using, and sit down and create a look with them. I feel like recently I felt really held back creatively from my makeup look, so I kind of want to use today's video to get really creative and have some fun with makeup. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows off camera, and while I do that I'm going to go ahead and play the footage showing the products that I picked out for today's makeup look. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with my base products. First off is primer, and I think I'm going to use the Milk Hydrogrip. I haven't been a huge fan of this lately, so kind of want to test it out. For foundation, I already know which one I want to try out. It's the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I've never tried this before, so I kind of want to test it out today. And for setting spray, I'm going to go in with the In Beauty Power Up Dual Phase Setting Mist. I used this once before and I really liked it, so I want to start using it a bit more. Moving on to concealer and powder, I think I'm going to go in with the mcgrath Labs concealer. I haven't used this in a while. So next up is blush, and I think I want to try out the Patrick Ta blush. Hey, you guys can totally see me there. The Patrick Ta blush duo. I haven't used this before. This is the shade Do We Know Her. And I kind of want to go in with some cream contour, so I'm going to go in with one of my favorites, and I think I'm going to top it with this bronzer if I need to. I'm not going to pick out a highlighter from here because I actually want to use a highlighter palette today. So this is where things get a little bit tricky because I don't really know what palette I want to use yet. I want to do a colorful look. I feel like I have really been held back creatively, so I want to try using some color in my look today. Oh, before I do that, I'm gonna be using the Beauty Bay highlighter palette. As for eyeshadow, I might pick out a color from this palette. This one is from Pinky Rose Cosmetics, but I'm also going to use my ABH Prism palette for some neutrals. I feel like this one has some nice browns and neutral shades to kind of go off of. I'm obviously going to prime with the Fenty for my eyes. I'm going to use the Pat McGrath Dark Star Mascara. For lips, I think I'm going to go with a nude lip since I know I'm going to be doing something colorful with the eyes. This is an Ace Beauty lip liner that I've never used. It's in the color Be Peachy. For the actual lipstick, I might go in with this lipstick that I have. It's a really nice nude tone, so I think it'll go well with the colors that we picked out today. Oh, and I want to do freckles, so I'm gonna go in with my freckle pen. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the base first. So for primer, we're gonna be going in with the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I used to really like this primer, but I don't know why lately I have not been a huge fan of it. I just feel like it dries out my skin, but I want to give it another chance, especially since I'm using a more radiant foundation today, so maybe that will work better with it. Speaking of foundation, this is the NARS Natural Longwear Radiant Foundation. I have the shade Santa Fe, which should be a good shade, hopefully. I'm actually going to apply it with the new Merit brush that I used in my last video. I want to see how it performs with a more liquid foundation. So I just applied some dots, and now I'm going to mix it in with that Merit brush. It's really not as radiant as I was expecting it to be. I think I prefer applying it from the brush to my face rather than dotting it around and then blending it in. It's a teeny bit too dark, but that's fine. I'm just gonna apply a tiny amount to my forehead. I don't really like applying product on my forehead, so I'm just applying a small amount just to kind of even everything out. Off of my very first initial impression, I don't find it to be radiant at all. It actually looks very matte on my skin. I don't know if it was the primer that maybe is doing that, but it does look pretty matte. The coverage is really nice. It did a good job at covering up my acne scars without texturizing or emphasizing them. I feel like it really emphasized the darkness around my lips right here. When I touch it, it doesn't feel like it's a matte foundation, like it doesn't feel dry or set down. It actually feels pretty tacky, but just looking at it, like it does not look radiant for me. But otherwise it looks good. My skin looks very nice and natural. It's not a very cakey product. I don't see it separating in any areas. It looks nice around my nose, which usually there's a lot of creasing around there. And so far it looks pretty good. Okay, so I guess we can now move on to the next product, which will be concealer. I have the McGrath concealer. This is the shade L5. I'm gonna blend it out with my sponge. I like the way that concealer blended with that foundation. These two really pair nicely together. Alright, really love how those two performed well together. I'm gonna go in with bronzer now, and for bronzer, I'm going to be doing this a bit differently. Usually I would just apply the stick directly on my forehead, but I'm worried that since this is such a matte foundation and this is a very dewy product, it might disrupt the product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the cream on the back of my hand like that, and then I will pick up the product with my brush directly from my hand. This way it'll just be a much smoother application. I'm hoping this bronzer will add a bit of luminosity to my face and some warmth. I'm gonna apply a bit on my chin and a tiny bit on my nose as well. Yeah, I like that so much better. I feel like that added such a nice glow back to the skin. And next up is blush, and this is the one that I picked out. It's the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream Powder Blush in the shade Do We Know Her. Such a beautiful peachy shade, oh my god. So I know Patrick Ta actually recommends putting the powder on first and then putting the cream on top, but I'm not gonna do that. Not my first time, at least. I might just stick to the cream. Honestly, I might not even use the powder. I'm just gonna kind of see how it goes, but the cream color looks beautiful. I'm gonna pick up a little bit on my brush. This is a Real Techniques buffing brush. It's actually supposed to be a foundation brush, but I like to use it for cream blushes. I'm not gonna put too much just because I don't know how pigmented this is gonna be. So we're just gonna work our way up. Oh, this is pretty. It's actually pretty pigmented. Like, I've only dipped my brush in once and look how much color it's giving. I'm gonna add another layer. I'm gonna apply a bit on my nose as well. I'm doing the wave technique with the blush just because I really like the way that looks when I add freckles later on. And I'm gonna put whatever's left on my brush on my chin just to kind of tie in everything together. Before moving on with any powder products, I'm gonna set my under eyes with some loose powder. Since the foundation is pretty matte, I'm not gonna apply any powder on my face. I also don't think I'll be using the powder blush or bronzer either. I kind of like the way things look right now, so we're just gonna go ahead and do the eyes now. So I went ahead and zoomed you guys in so you can see what I'm doing. First, I'm gonna be priming with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Eye Primer, and I'm just gonna apply this to my whole lid and blend it out with my finger. For my transition color, I'm actually going to be mixing in two colors. The first one is going to be this color right here. It's called Brulee from the Pinky Rose palette. And the second one is the color Eden from the ABH palette. So I'm going to mix those two together just because Brulee is really yellow for what I want and Eden is too orange. So I feel like blending the two will give me the ideal transition shade that I'm looking for. And for that, I'm going to go in with a big fluffy brush. This one is the Morphe JH32. Okay, let's see where this takes me. I'm going to focus the transition shade on the outer corner of my crease and then kind of bring in whatever's left on the brush on the inner corner. I'm going to pick up a bit more of that Brulee color on its own, just because the orange turned out to be a bit too strong. And then I'm going to start packing on the shade Parallel from the ABH palette on the outer V portion of my crease. Sorry, my lid, not my crease. I'm just really packing this color on before focusing on blending. And then with a slightly more defined blending brush, this is Morphe M433, I'm going to go back into that Eden and Brulee color and work on blending them in with the Parallel dark brown color. Just using very tiny windshield wiper motions to blend these guys out together. It's being a little stubborn and doesn't really want to blend. I'm just gonna go back in with the color using a very, very light hand and kind of blend it into the transition shade. Okay, and then back in with that big fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend the colors even more and sort of feather things out a bit. Okay, this isn't as blended as I would like it to be, but that dark brown color is being very stubborn, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now. For my lid color, I'm going to be using the shade Punky and the shade Glitz from the Pinky Rose palette. I'm gonna pick up Punky using this old Sephora concealer brush, and I'm going to apply that all over the lid. And I'm mainly packing it on just to get the most color payoff. Then I'm going to go back in with the dark brown color and kind of introduce that with the teal. I'm picking up the color Punky again and just blending it in with the color Parallel. I'm picking up the transition shades on the smaller blending brush, and I just want to kind of blend them in with the inner portion of the crease, just so I don't have a harsh line with that blue color. Now that we have that done, I'm gonna pick up the Glitz color, which is the lighter, more shimmery teal, and I'm gonna focus that on the inner portion of the lid. I actually might pick up a little bit with my finger and just, yeah, that's much better. And I'm just gonna blend it in with the brush. Okay, scratch what I said, we're actually going to be putting that shimmery teal all over the lid. Don't know if I like this look. I feel like it's very 2016. I want to think of a way that I can salvage this. I think I'm going to add some white dots. I feel like that might modernize the look a little bit. I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye and just see where this goes. We're gonna see where this goes. I have faith in this look. So I went ahead and finished up the eye on this side, and I'm just like, when I look at this look on my phone, it doesn't look as bad, but for some reason it's looking really bad when I look into my little screen here, and I don't know why. This look is just not speaking to me. It's really not. Look who decided to come say hi, guys. He's looking at himself in the screen. I'm gonna see how this looks with an eyeliner. I'm gonna be right back. I didn't add a full eyeliner, but I did add a bit of black and just kind of smudged it into the brown. I definitely like that a lot better. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys what I did, and hopefully once this look is done, I will like it and decide to post this. I'm going to do my lower lash line first, so we're going to pick up that Parallel color on this detailed pencil brush. This is the Morphe. It doesn't have a number on it, but this is what it looks like. And I'm going to run that color all through my lower lash line, trying to be as close to the waterline as possible. And we're going to go back into that Morphe M433 with the original transition shades, and we're gonna blend that color out and also kind of tie it into the rest of the look. For the black, I went in with some pen eyeliner first. This is just the Stila Stay All Day eyeliner, and I did a thin line. I thickened it a tiny bit when I got to the outer corner of my eye, but nothing crazy. Just like that, literally the smallest tiny amount of eyeliner. And then we're gonna use the color Obsidian, which is the black from the Prism palette, with this small smudger brush, also from Morphe. This is the Jaclyn Hill JH42. We're gonna pick up some of that color and we're gonna pack it on top of the outer portion. Don't worry about the inner portion. It's honestly not that deep. We're gonna go back into that pencil brush with the Parallel shade and just sort of blend it into the brown so that it's like a smoother transition. And we're gonna do the same with the lower lash line, but we're just gonna use it on the outer portion. We're not gonna bring it all the way in. I also tight lined with some black eyeliner. This is the Milani Stay Put eyeliner. I actually really like this black eyeliner. It's one of my faves. So I'm hoping that once I add mascara and the little dots, everything's just kind of tie in together. So I'm just gonna zoom you guys out just so we can finish off the base and then we can do the final touches on the eyes. Before I add highlighter, I'm gonna go ahead and do my full freckles. So we're just gonna pick up this guy from Freck and do random little dots, just kind of how I always do it. I'm just gonna add a bit more blush on top of where I applied those freckles. And now I'm gonna go in with highlighter. This is the Beauty Bay highlighter palette. I'm gonna mix in the first two shades together. These are the colors Strobe and Charmed. But before I do that, I'm gonna go in with my setting spray and then I'm gonna apply my highlighter while my setting spray is still a little bit wet on my face. The setting spray is very dewy, so I'm hoping it'll add a bit more luminosity on my face, which it desperately needs right now. Now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and add some black dots. I know I initially said that I wanted white, but I feel like black will go with the smoky theme we're going for. I'm using this Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid eyeliner, and I'm going to apply a dot here and here. Kind of bothering me that this isn't a perfect dot, but it's fine. Okay, so we're gonna do mascara, and I am gonna go in with the Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara. I have really been liking this one, but since this is a more dramatic look, I'm gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs Lash Primer first, just so that my my lashes can be very volumized and thick. And if you want to see an in-depth tutorial on how I do this, I will have it linked below. I'm just gonna kind of skip through this part, but this is just kind of like my false lash effect on my natural lashes technique. Okay, wow, I really like that combo for my lashes. The Pat McGrath mascara is a bit dried out right now, so I'd love to revisit this technique when I open a new one, but it looks really good. Last but not least, we have our lips. So I'm gonna line my lips with the Ace Beauty Be Peachy lip liner. Really nice application. That was nice and creamy. Okay, and I think that brings us to the end of the video. I don't think I'm missing any products. I have to say, this isn't my favorite look, but I definitely think I salvaged it. It's definitely a lot better than where it was when I first started it. I can definitely work with this. I actually really like the dots. I really like the freckles. I love the lip combo actually. This lip combo is really nice, and I feel like it ties in really nicely with the rest of the look. That's pretty much it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and turn the notification bell on so that you can get notified every time I post. That's it from me today, you guys. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!